the last 23 hours. I would like to, on behalf of Civic City and Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, say a big thank you to the technicians that have been supporting us here and in other places in Paris and in other studios around the world, and also to the translation. Big thank you. And I would also like to thank the RLS officers that participated in this event. It was great. Apart from the studio in Paris and in Geneva here, we had our colleagues in the offices in New York, Almaty, Manila, New Delhi, colleagues on the COP in Dubai and Johannesburg participating, as well as Berlin, like our colleague Carola. And yeah, now I would also like to extend my thanks to Robert Cohen and Susanna Cherry for the graphics. And yeah, and so I think without all these people, this event would not have been possible. And yeah, now I would like to give all of us a chance to have a final thought on what was happening over the last 23 hours. And maybe, who do you want to start?
Perhaps at first I have to remember a little bit the first. Ah oui, en français, c'est vrai. En plus, ça sera plus facile. Non, je me souviens de la fin du premier, de la première nuit.
Of the first nights of global social rights that we held.
Une grande personnalité et nous avions eu cette discussion extrêmement joyeuse et passionnée autour de des thèmes que nous avions élaborés et notamment là aussi des droits. Ça avait été très important, cette dimension humaine que portait finalement le travail de Jean Ziegler. Mais en écoutant, parce qu'on n'était pas toujours au front, on était parfois écouteurs, je me suis dit souvent, qu'est-ce qu'aurait pensé cette dame en écoutant nos 24 heures, Rosa Luxemburg. Je trouve que la période malheureusement de son décès, de son assassinat, correspond, est assez proche de ce que nous vivons actuellement dans cette montée du fascisme, montée des extrémismes, montée des autoritarismes, etc. Et que sa lutte pour la démocratie, pour la paix aussi, pour l'internationalité, tout ce qu'elle portait était aujourd'hui et pendant ces 24 heures très présent. Et je pense que c'est très, très important que nous fassions ces petits retours aussi, même si on a essayé de ringardiser un peu la lutte contre le capitalisme, les classes sociales. Mais on a bien vu, Nord-Sud, on a bien vu pendant ces 24 heures, tout ça est ressurgi parce que la situation actuelle le rend à nouveau extrêmement lisible. Nous sommes en un temps où toutes ces choses qu'on a essayé d'effacer ressurgissent. Donc, je suis extrêmement heureux de ces 24 heures. On a eu des moments extrêmement forts. Je me souviens bien entendu de cette ouverture de Doudou Dienne que disait-il? L'accouchement est difficile. Donc ça, c'est un peu le contraire de ce que je viens de dire. C'est-à-dire, il l'exprimait d'une manière positive et il a raison parce qu'après-demain, nous aurons accouché de cette nouvelle société, mais le temps de l'accouchement n'est pas si simple que ça. Et nous sommes dans ce temps difficile où la transformation, bien entendu, est voilà, où ceux qui ne veulent pas la transformation sont de plus en plus autoritaires, de plus en plus et qu'on quitte la dimension, y compris dans les pays démocratiques ou dans beaucoup de pays démocratiques, il y a peut-être quelques exceptions, mais on quitte la dimension des droits de l'homme. Donc c'est extrêmement important que nous ayons réfléchi sur sur ces questions-là. Voilà, il y a plein d'autres choses à dire, mais je vous passe l'air.
I'll go ahead and I'll join you speaking English. So yeah, thanks a lot to everyone. And I think what I liked the most was also I love all the technical sides to these events, and a big special and personal thanks to Jocelyn and Sophie and Esteban, who we spent stressful moments with, but very good ones. And what I like the most about these events is how we facilitate people meeting, and we facilitate conversations, and we bring people together from different backgrounds, from different organizations. And I think that's the most important. I think we did a good job. So, and we had very, very good speakers for these 23 hours. And two that really stuck with me are one of the interventions from our Almaty office that talked about disabled people in Central Europe. That was very, very powerful and important as well. And one panel we had today on the importance of culture and the fight for human rights and social rights, and how to bring that together to make a better world. I think that's what we're all trying to do. Even if it sounds a bit idealistic, I think it's kind of the aim of these events.
I wanted to quote Rosa, and now I'm in a struggle because there are two quotes which correspond to, but I think one is very important. It is in the tiny struggles of individual peoples that the great movements of history are most truly revealed. And I think what these 24 hours try is to interconnect struggles, tiny little struggles of one or two person who's continuously fighting for the interest of collective rights and big movements, and to bring them together and to listen and to exchange. And there are transversal problems, and sometimes, and this was one panel we just had where we said sometimes you also have to be confident on the struggle of the other and to solidarize, even if you haven't understand all of the elements of the fight of the others. It's important to stand together, because those who have no idols and nothing to lose, they stand together because they don't question. And to be strong against these kind of oppressions, it's important that we are in the logic of a movement. And I already had this feeling in the other nights that we know of the struggles of the other, but sometimes we are focused on our struggles and we can't do everything at the same time. And it's very important to separate the different tasks, but then to stand together. And I think this for me is a very important element. And this is the atmosphere which in this 24 hours is that you really take over. You have 15 minutes and then you go to the next topic, to the next question, and you refer to the struggle of the other. And I think this is for me a very symbolic action. And so I can integrate the second quote, because this is before revolution happens, it is perceived as impossible. After it happens, it is seen as having been inevitable. And I think this is something which can give us hope. And why we are quoting so much Rosa Luxemburg is that I think that this foundation, and we have heard this in the 24 hours, is so important, because we need in these times when our places of agency are in danger, we need places where we are supported, where we can be located, and with this starts new struggles and reinforcement. And that's why I'm so thankful that again we could make this round around the world, this dance of thoughts, of struggles, of activism around the world with you. And it's we see a certain development also because so many studios could and partners in other parts of the world were willing to work with us and made wonderful hours. And I can quote all these hours, but I have to say the Johannesburg studio brought so important topics on the floor about the relation of civic rights and economic rights, and that we have to work on reclaiming a hierarchy of these rights, that the civic rights are in the forefront because the human being is in the center. And the last quote of Rosa, and then I finish. You just can understand the humans if you love them. So I give maybe over to Jeanne. Or to my neighbor.
Alors moi, je veux juste ajouter, enfin, remercier toutes les personnes qui ont participé, les participants qui ont amené tellement de réflexions intéressantes, qu'ils ont voulu partager avec nous ce moment. Je crois que c'est hyper important de donner un espace, faire de l'espace pour des échanges, pour que les gens puissent se connecter les unes avec les autres, et que c'est autant plus important aujourd'hui parce que il faut protéger les droits humains. Il ne faut pas seulement les promouvoir, mais il faut vraiment les protéger. On a des backlash, des mouvements qui sont contre les droits. Donc, c'est très important de mettre ensemble des activistes, des personnes qui ont ça au centre de leur mission. Donc, merci.
Alors, juste un mot pour dire que pour moi, cet événement, il est une manifestation concrète d'une dynamique de solidarité internationale, et je pense que ce terme de solidarité internationale est vraiment important. On a parfois un peu tendance à travailler chacun dans notre domaine, ou chacun sur notre territoire, etc. Et que ce que cet événement veut dire, c'est aussi que ces liens-là entre les différentes luttes, comme tu disais, ou entre les différents thèmes, entre les différents espaces, que ce soit des personnes qui travaillent dans des associations, dans le milieu académique, au sein des Nations Unies ou dans d'autres espaces. Je pense que ces liens-là, ils sont à préserver, à protéger aussi et à continuer à construire. Et que c'est aussi ça que cet événement veut montrer. Voilà.
Okay, yeah, maybe I continue, and then I think Ruedi wants to also present something that grew out of these events to all of us, also maybe with like an incentive for the future. Yeah, what I think when we first started planning this session, there were a lot of crises going on already in this world, but more crisis came, more conflict came in the time being, and maybe that's why maybe it all had to happen in the year that the Human Rights Declaration celebrated its 75th anniversary. Also to as all of us already said, to make it visible and to make everyone know that it's so important to defend these rights. And that it is also important, and that was like that was said on the last panel that I was on, that we as civil society defend these rights. And what I liked in all kinds of sessions that we had today was that civil society was presented in all its diversity, maybe its complexity also. There was reference to failures of civil society, but also to proposals on how to make civil society in all these international, global, national, regional, local fights more stronger than it is not right now. And I think, yeah, this moment when we look at the world today, I think it has never really been so obvious that we as civil society have to reclaim the space, as we said before, but also reclaim our position in the negotiations about rights and in all these international treaties, in all these international convents. We as civil society, as this last as one on the last panel said, the Human Rights Declaration starts with we, the people. So we also have to take it in our hands, and I think that is one of the things that was very visible in all these panels, that people do try to take things in their hands, but we might even have to try harder looking at the world today. Then other things that just popped up during the discussions were repoliticizing the debates. It has become like very technical at parts, and it's even for us working here in Geneva, it's sometimes difficult to understand what it's all about. But yeah, I think it's time to not look at it as like a complicated space of technical negotiations, but a space for political discussions. And I think I hope that this 24 hours, we're one of these spaces maybe from which political discussions on human rights and how to overcome their violations could start from. I also heard, and this comes with it, organizing, mobilizing. So I think we really have to start serious discussions about how to engage even more with people nowadays. I mean, we now had 24 hours a discussion with 80 participants, and hopefully loads of people will watch the outcome of this over the next couple of weeks. But still, we only reach out to like a very limited percentage of the populations. And I think, yeah, we really have to be critical with ourselves and think about how to do that better in the future. This also has to do with finances. We have to have more radical ideas. We're like very, very quiet in our limited spaces and trying to make the most of it. But I think to be able to reach out to more people, to involve more people, we really have to have more critical thoughts about, more radical thoughts also about how to raise not only the finances, but also the people power, like to do all of that. And then it's all in the name of solidarity, no? We really have to get out of our own comfort zones, and it's of course very comfortable for us here in Geneva to talk about human rights violations around the world, but we have to leave those comfort zones and come up with strategies that are maybe takes away the comfort from us, but helps us to be more solidary with other people around the world.
And maybe, if I am allowed to say, invite the others. And I think this event did this in our comfort zone, because sometimes you can say something and our comfort zones are in danger too. So it can be that tomorrow we can't speak anymore, and in some parts of Europe it's already starting, and it depends on which part of population you are already in danger. And we had some of participants who had the courage to raise their voice even if they made themselves in danger. And on the other hand, it's precisely this abri, là, je sais même pas le mot, this shelter maybe, you have given, which allowed that we can raise the voice. So maybe we leave it but we keep it in the same time, and we give kind of hospitality to those who raise the word. But maybe I give the word to you already, that you can speak about another question to leave traces.
Yes, I will speak about a part who was a little bit in the shadow, and I have to make this. I hope I can do.
Shall I speak? Meanwhile, you are.
No, I think it's okay. I hope so. You see the screen? No. Ah.
So.
Yeah, it's about the website. The website we do. Very good. The website we do for this manifestation, but was a little bit concentrated in we can say occidental and local dimension, and the idea is that on this website, which is based for this third night of the Universal Declaration, we will see if in the fourth we have another topic, so we can enter other topics. But in this case, is the Universal Declaration, and we have different explication about each terminology who are inside of this element. But I think I will switch in français.
Toi, tu peux parler français et je peux dire après, sinon je peux ajouter en anglais.
Ça sera beaucoup plus simple. Et donc, la première recherche est une recherche qui peut être linguistique. Et l'idée est véritablement que les quelques définitions que nous avons trouvées se voient complétées par d'autres cultures, d'autres manières de voir sur ces concepts. Et on sait très bien que tout concept, que ce soit le concept de paix, que ce soit le concept de rébellion, sont des concepts qui sont très fortement liés à la question de la langue et donc qui se transforment aussi avec les langues et avec les cultures. Nous allons avoir, bien entendu, et c'est déjà un tout petit peu près, les podcasts. Alors, ça va, on n'a pas encore eu le temps de recouper toutes les choses. Pour l'instant, c'est les grandes parties, mais dans quelques jours, ça sera heure par heure. Et vous pourrez donc cliquer sur le programme que nous avons eu et à chaque fois entendre ces différents podcasts. Ensuite, et c'est important, nous avons aussi introduit 2 autres chapitres qu'on va compléter en fonction d'ailleurs de ce qui s'est dit pendant ces 24 heures, qui est un chapitre sur les luttes, où on essaye d'expliquer où se passe quelle lutte, sous quels critères, etc. etc. C'est aussi une chose qui peut être complétée par tout un chacun. Nous allons le faire de notre côté, mais il serait bon que ça ne soit pas uniquement notre plume qui s'y mette, mais que ce soit justement les représentations du monde. Et puis, la même chose sur les grands débats de l'ONU, de l'UNESCO, etc., sur ces thématiques-là. Donc, voilà l'état actuel de la structure, mais Vera va prendre la parole sur la suite.
So the interest was to leave traces and to enter in this culture which the 24 hours are doing, to reading collectively these important convention, but to augment this kind of important, almost civic monument, and to help to understand, because often, and that was in all these discussions, we use the convention, we interpret, but we don't bring realities behind, and that's why it can be instrumentalized. That's why it can be also misused, as we have heard, and just some of the articles can be used. And what was for us important is really we start a collective reading of this convention, and that's why we invite all those who participated today, but also colleagues of you, to work with this open archive and to annotate, to help rereading, to bring in the question of decolonizing colonial thoughts who are still inscribed, but not by destroying, but by augmenting and continuously writing this convention. And precisely this is the instrument of today. And it's in the same time the entrance of something which we thought together with you, the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, to say that we, and this was a demand of the participants of all the 3 nights, that we need a platform of working together, of connecting, of exchanging tools of struggles, develop new instruments, and to share. Because again, I quote Asina to say, we can't do all in the same time, and we have to profit from what the other already achieved and what has functioned, and to try to implement this in our context too. And this is the idea, to develop a collective platform for global social rights, and this hopefully will the project, the future project for what this first website is the entrance, and that's and you are invited to think with us and to work with us on that. You find on the website all the contacts, and you are very welcome to inspire us with formats, ideas, and thoughts. So I can give over again to the Geneva, maybe for the final word on that.
Well, I mean, we're like 13 minutes before 5 o'clock. We could still continue for 13 minutes, but we don't also have to overstretch it. So yeah, any final thoughts from anyone?
Or maybe you can speak about if a platform like that could serve, or where you see also.
We don't speak about finance.
Future.
We have to go out of reality.
No, I mean, like on several occasions, not only on the social rights nights, but also on other occasions, I think we have seen the necessity of like a more continuous collective work. I mean, so far we've to do these 3 editions of the Global Social Rights Nights, and there was a lot of preparation going on and all of that, and we try to also use the outcome of the material that we collected, which is like a very rich archive by now already of statements, of perspectives, of descriptions of failures, but also of proposals for change. But yeah, I think what we know from all of our other activities is that it would be very helpful if we could constantly work together, and constantly listen to each other and discuss, think, dream with each other. So of course, I mean, that's definitely in our thoughts, like of how to continue this this global collaboration on a more continuous basis. And yeah, maybe like if anyone of our participants and the people that listen to this to these 24 hours have ideas on that, we're also very open to listen to those. And yeah, I mean that's it's a good start. I think that we now have this website sort of as an archive of the 3 nights that we've already done, and I think yeah, it's a good start. But of course, we should start from there and then come up with something even more solid, I think, in the future. That's for sure. Okay, so yeah, unless you still want to have a final thought on something.
I will also remember some elements of these nights who was so fantastic. I must say, these interviews in Manila, who persons speak about the afraidness to be militant, and this woman who say, I'm happy and it's not a problem because I was every time in this situation. So I didn't have any more, je n'ai plus peur. I'm not anymore in afraidness. And I think this, we have a little bit to learn this because our zone de confort va probablement un tout petit peu s'effriter. Donc, il faut qu'on apprenne, y compris peut-être dans certains cas, à rentrer dans une disparition, mais même déjà, et c'est un thème sur lequel nous, on a beaucoup travaillé, c'est à quel moment commence l'illégalité. L'illégalité, c'est quand on pense aux droits de l'homme, on est presque obligé de ne pas obéir pour pouvoir être humaniste et pour pouvoir correspondre à ce qui est écrit dans les droits de l'homme. Il faut soutenir les personnes qui sont dans des situations peut-être illégales. Il faut, et ces choses-là sont en train de s'épaissir. C'est-à-dire cette nécessité presque pour des raisons humanitaires, pour des raisons humaines, de sortir de ce qui est autorisé, puisqu'on nous autorise de moins en moins. Hein.
And what I have seen is that there are moments of fear and moments of tiredness because you're really and also of feelings to want to give up, but then there's also, and this was this night too, there's some optimism, and sometimes you have a moment when you have achieved something, and it's important to share this, and this can give hope again. And I remember, and that's why I was so happy that you invited us. Once when I worked for Amnesty International, there was a person coming and he said, I know that I never would have access to the human rights, but this was my prayer all the nights. And I left finally the prison. And even if it was kind of idle thing, it was something concrete and written. And I think for me always, and I have the eyes and the hearts of all those nights of people in, they go with me. And I think what we have seen here is something we shared the world, but it was very intimate, and it's exactly what I think is very, very important. And I think there is this definition of peace is that in every dialogue and every little exchange, there's something existential and important, and that's why we have to continue to speak together and to share and to give hope when you are tired, and to share these moments of deception, that we don't get arrogant if we have success, and that we speak about the success to give hope to the other.
Okay, so I guess it's on me to call it a day here in Geneva at almost 5 p.m. And I would like to use that opportunity to also thank you, Vera and Ruedi, for this third collaboration on this great process and program and project that would not be possible without you. And also to my colleagues from the Geneva office, and also the ones that are not here today, that made all of this possible with like very hard work for like a couple of months already. So yeah, I hope this was not the last of our editions. I look forward to the next one, and yeah, I hope we see each other again soon.